Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Different little bit of an update today. I had a question on my community tab. If you've been watching the last video, I did post a question and answer video, but this one is on the Wealthsimple Venture Fund. I had a question asking if I invested in the Wealthsimple Venture Fund, and I never answered it in that video because I wanted to share in a separate video that I did invest into it. Now, this has been going on for a while. If you've been following the channel, I've done a couple of updates on the Venture Fund. I was really tossing and turning whether to, to go and pull the trigger to invest in it. Had to move some things around, look at my investments in the year coming forward, but decided that it was actually going to be a good fit for my investment style. So I decided to put in, there's a minimum amount. The minimum amount that they're recommending was $5,000. So I did transfer into the Wealthsimple account $5,000 to put into the venture fund. I'll just show you in this video kind of what happens once you deposit that fund. So if you are new to Wealthsimple on the invest side, this will look a little bit different, but the app's fairly simple. So if you've been wondering what this looks like, we'll jump in. We'll show you a quick video. Okay, here we are in the Venture Fund I. And now this looks a little bit different than the regular trade app, but it's their Wealthsimple Invest site. People watching the channel, I kind of have talked about the Invest site a little bit, but never actually showed a screenshot. So what it does is you can see my the portfolio is actually up, just not too bad. I did do deposit. So what it does is it breaks it into a plan. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different because right now it's just sitting in a US cash ETF basically, and I can show you how that it looks and how it actually sits. So the expected return, I don't expect this to be accurate. It's probably, I'm gonna guess, just based on that cash fund right now, because as of right now, there hasn't been any investments into that fund yet. They're still raised. Wealthsimple, from my understanding, I've read a little bit more on Reddit on this. If you have Reddit, check that out as well. Some good information, because they're starting to still roll this out to Wealthsimple clients to be able to invest. And the most recent one I saw was a couple days ago. So people are now starting to get those emails out if you're on the wait list, from what I understand. The fund is set to kind of start to invest in Q4. So that will be basically up into, after the summer into September. Haven't made any deposits in July. I did this deposit a while ago. It's actually just been kind of sitting there. And that's why you can see the increase in price a little bit, because US dollar. But basically what you want to do, has the plan. We put initial investment of $5,000. We can scroll down here, and the goal is retirement. And what it does when you call to talk about this with Wealthsimple is they set you up like a customized invest account, which is the Venture Fund I. So the theme is customized and the risk level is customized. And in the portfolio, if you click into it, what you can see, it's customized by the portfolio manager at Wealthsimple, so a little bit different. And it's a customized risk level, and you can see the holdings. So all the holdings we have is a little bit in cash. So in cash, if you drill down in here, we are sitting on $19.98. And in other, you'll see what this is actually invested in right now. It's the Purpose US Cash Fund. So you can see right there, we have 38.95 shares of that. That was on the initial investment of $5,000. Now, I'm going to guess, because if we actually look here go back into the history, you can see it's much like the trade app. You can look at the history and what you purchased and everything else. So you can see here in the thing, I did a few deposits to bring it up to the $5,000. And as we go through, there's net deposits 500, return 79.94, simple rate of return 1.6%. So happy with that so far. But if you go into your activity, you can see recent activity, and you can actually see what's kind of happened with the account so far. Dividends received for June, I received a dividend of $6.15. And for May, I received a dividend of $1.44. So you can see the investments of cash, and transferred in 3,000, transferred in 1,000, and then transferred in 1,000. So just did a few deposits to bring it up to the $5,000 on the basic one. So this will be interesting to kind of watch and see what happens. It really fits my timeline of investing. That was one of the big decisions to try and invest in this one. And also in terms of the investment that it's going to be going into is healthcare and technology, definitely into technology investments. So I think my reasoning to make sure I decided to go into this was, obviously the markets are down right now. And I think in terms of growth, there's maybe some opportunity there within the next 10 years. That's there, just a quick update on the Wealthsimple Venture Fund. I don't know how, active this fund is going to be. It's obviously a long-term investment. So for updates, it's probably not going to be very exciting to watch, you know, weekly updates on this thing. Again, this is a long-term investment. Wealthsimple is saying that it's going to be 10 years, 5 to 10 years minimum before we're starting to see any returns and hopefully profits on this one. So I think what I'll do is, if there's some interest, let me know down in the comments below. I'm happy to share how the portfolio is doing. What is going to start investing in is Accolade Partners, which is a venture capital. It's kind of a fund of funds. So basically kind of a ETF of venture capital, other funds. So it would be interesting to see how the investments pan out. If they start to put investments, I'm going to assume, hopefully, it will show it in the account so I can actually go in and see and possibly do a bit more research on some of the funds and some of the investments that the Wealthsimple Venture Fund is investing in. Hopefully it's not completely blind now. From my understanding, maybe we'll get hopefully get sent some more information on this as well. It's a little bit, I guess a little bit vague right now, other than the initial launch information that Wealthsimple had on their website. But I'm happy to share with everybody if there's some interest. Maybe do monthly video updates on see how this is going. Probably not much is going to happen, obviously, until the next quarter when this starts to actually, the funds start to get deployed. In the meantime, what it will do is be sitting in that US cash ETF, getting a little bit of dividends on there, so not too bad. And from my understanding is that all the funds won't be invested all at once. It's going to go in kind of rounds. So any cash that is sitting there will be sitting in that US cash, making the dividends from that every month. So that's a win as well. So we'll see how this goes. Obviously a long-term investment. If you want to stick along and see it, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you follow along. I also will be sharing, obviously, if you've been watching this channel, you know what it's all about, sharing my regular TFSA trade portfolio updates. Had a few dividends. I did actually make a purchase today. I'm filming this on a Monday. I did do a purchase. Everything is really, you know, obviously down if you've been following the market now. So just dollar cost averaging. I think dollar cost averaging is our friend right now. Take advantage of that while we can, just with some small deposits, as we say. Small deposits, growing it slowly up, hopefully to $100,000. We'll see how we do in the long term. Thanks everybody for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you join along. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Happy to try and answer them the best I can with the information I have. Thanks so much.